You're watching MMA Oddsbreaker. I'm Frank Trigg. That's TJ Dillashaw. Just got done working out, and thankfully he took a shower and cleaned himself up first because most alpha male guys don't have shirts on when they do my interview.
Yeah, I got two on. It's kind of weird. I feel uncomfortable. I got a shirt and a jacket.
Is it cold up there right now in Sac?
Not too bad. Today's a little bit colder. Dude, yesterday was like 70 degrees. I trained and played a little bit of golf. It was wonderful.
Wow. The life that alpha male guys lead, it's even to fighters, it's still kind of like, wow. Like, you went and played golf. Mendez was out hunting elk the other day or deer or something the other day, and he's in a deer stand with his girl. Like, it's all like the lives you guys do up there. We just don't understand it. How do you get all those personalities put together? There's a bunch of hillbillies, a bunch of rednecks.
I mean, me and Chad are both from the country. I mean, we grew up in the country in California, so that's just something that we've always grown up doing. And a lot of the same like personalities attract each other. You just end up being friends. Yeah,
but then you got a half ton of guys that are pretty boys, and Uriah's he's not a country at all. It's just like all it's different personalities. It's not all the same mentality. It's like a lot of different guys together. The only thing you have in common is you're all short. Other than that, it's kind of not. Like, I don't know how you do it.
Yeah. It's kind of funny too. Uriah actually grew up out in the sticks too, and he didn't go country at all. He just took up the California kid and became the surfer type.
I'm the same way. Most people think I was born in a big city, but I'm a little, from a little small town, and we had more cows than people, and I went the other way too. But I still listen to country music like Uriah does. Still I'd like to hunt when I can, but it's been so long. I'm so out of practice I can't do it anymore. Golf though, really golf? Like, I don't see you being a golfer.
Yeah, I know. I gotta have something that's a little bit more relaxing than fighting. I gotta have something to mellow myself out. I'm too high strung and aggressive, so golf kind of calms me down until I make a bad shot and then I flip out.
That was my point. Is like golf's not very calming. It's kind of irritating.
Yeah, the better you get, the little bit more calming it gets.
Okay, all right. So is that normal for you during training camp? Is you take a half day sometime during the week and get something in like golf or something else, or is that just a rarity?
The closer I get to a fight, yeah. I mean, 8 weeks out, I'm hitting it hard. 10 weeks out, I'm hitting it super hard. The closer I get, the little bit I let my body rest. I'll get my mind off of only training and what I'm going to do in my fight and kind of get a nice relaxing day in and, stay fresh. It's better to come into the gym wanting to spar or wanting to work out instead of dragging yourself in and feeling beat up all the way up to your fight.
You got to have that relaxing point. A lot of it comes from a wrestling background. We do 3 hard days and then a half day off and then 3 hard days. And that's just kind of the cycle. It sounds like you guys are still following that same kind of cycle up there too, at Alpha Male. Okay.
Yeah, wrestling helped me out a lot. I mean, it kind of tuned in everything for fighting. I mean, wrestling was kind of my learning experience of what I should do for fighting,
Do you see a lot of these new guys? Like, I've heard a couple different guys are that should be going to D1 programs, big name guys, are jumping out and going right in MMA. They're not even going to college. They're coming out of high school and going right into MMA. And a lot of the D1 guys that we thought hey, these are world team members, are going to be fighting for the Olympic golds and stuff, are like, it's not worth it. I'm going to jump out and go into MMA, and I can make as much money or more in the very beginning of my career, let alone you become like a Chris Weidman, who all of a sudden now is a champ.
Yeah. I definitely think the kids going into college should wrestle. I mean, I feel like it built a huge character for me and made me a lot tougher of a person going to D1 wrestling. Those guys that are getting out of college, though, and going to wrestle for Olympic gold medals and stuff, I feel like, they could make more money fighting. There's more money in that, and I think that's kind of a smart move. But the kids coming out of high school, I feel like they should go to college. I think it builds you. You become more of a man and learn some responsibility before getting into fighting.
I really believe that the one thing that saved me was going to college first, getting a degree, because there's always something to fall back on. I'm never going to use my degree for anything, but I went through that process of learning stuff, and you're right. It does make you more of a man, learning how to take care of yourself, be in the dorms, how to talk to other people that you don't necessarily wouldn't get along with in your high school days because you have no choice. There's study groups or it's a hot chick that you want to get a hold of. And the only way you can do it is you got to come out of your shell and talk. So college is a great experience for everybody. I wish more of these guys would jump into college, wrestle D1, and then make a decision come their senior year whether they're going to go on and test for a world team and continue to coach, or if they're going to jump out and go MMA.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I have something to fall back on. I mean, fighting's not going to last forever. You gotta have that degree for afterwards.
What's your degree in?
Kinesiology. I did clinical exercise science. I was actually going to go to grad school and become a PA, a physician's assistant. But Uriah talked me into fighting, so I figured I'd give myself a year and see how it panned out.
It's not doing too bad right now.
It's going all right. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about one of the little hiccups you had. The last fight with Rafael Assuncao. I mean, great fight, lost a split decision. If you got the choke, the fight would have been over. But I read another interview you did that you're like, I'm kind of glad I didn't get the choke because now I know what I need to work on. What's one of those things that you had to work on right after it? I know you were back in the gym less than a week later. Like you're in there, banging your head again, trying to figure it out. What
Absolutely.
was it?
I kind of went in there only going for the power shots, going for the big KO, and not touching, not getting my angles, kind of just going for the one big punch, the one big kick. Not using my boxing enough and touching my way in, and in a little bit more feints, and just kind of being a full round fighter instead of like I said, looking for the big shot, the big finisher. I kind of realized that going against a counter puncher like Rafael that I needed to work on that a little bit. And yeah, like you said, if I would have finished that choke, I would have thought I was on top of the world and didn't need to change anything,
And that would have put you in battle for your next fight. Would have been battle for number one contender at the weight class. And now it's your next fight with Mike Easton, if I remember correctly, and forgive me if I'm wrong, but it's number 7 versus number 8 ranked. So it's very, as far as the rankings go, it's very set up. It's very dialed in. But one of the things that kind of worries me a lot of times, especially with wrestlers, is that they start talking about picking shots and punching a guy in the head, and all of a sudden we all become boxers because you can't take us down. If you do take us down, you can't hold us down. So I'm going to do whatever I want on my feet and see what happens. Is Duane Ludwig trying to keep you away from that kind of typical wrestler mentality where now that you're a good striker, you forget to wrestle? Is he still using your wrestling to get you inside for that punching position? Like, which way is it going with Duane?
He does a little bit of everything. What he does is he works off what I'm already good at. So he wants me to make sure my takedown. We do just as much wrestling with Duane in practice as we do kickboxing. We use our MMA wrestling to get our strikes. We get our strikes to use our MMA wrestling, and he makes sure that I stick to winning the rounds and being in control and being where I'm most dominant. Sure, is he making my stand up better? Yes, but he's also making sure when I get into that fight that I have a game plan. I'm still going to use my strengths. And and now that you bring that up too, that's one thing that I feel like I could have used a little bit more in that last fight was. Just to make sure I won the fight, was getting more takedowns because I could have taken him down more. I felt like I was winning. The first round I got the takedowns, I did awesome. Second round I kind of came out too slow. Third round I felt I was winning the round. I was going forward. I was landing the more strikes, so I was happy with that. I took him down at once, but it wasn't very long. I should have pressured the wrestling and guaranteed the win instead of making it close enough to get it taken from me.
You look at guys like Couture, who's since long retired. But used wrestling, he was very horrible foot motion, couldn't go side to side, very unathletic, just a hard worker. Ends up winning, multiple of titles at different weight classes. But he realized that, hey, I'm a boxer. I learned how to box while I was in the military in Germany, but my boxing skill isn't that great because I don't have foot motion, so I'm going to use my wrestling to punch guys. If you look at his record, he knocked guys out as much as he did submit them, as much as he did decision them because he just kind of got in and got that grind. That's not your style, though. You're not a Greco guy going to get inside and dirty box and do that kind of game plan. But Are you really concentrating on that middle ground where I'm at the end of my punch, but if I need to, I can get in there and shoot? Or is it more of I'm waiting for him to make a mistake, he'll step forward and attack me eventually because he has no choice, and I'll be able to counter wrestle and take him down using defense?
I guess a little bit of both. You got to stay happy medium in both of those. You got to set your takedowns up offensively and be aware of them defensively too, without putting yourself into trouble and him knowing you're going for a shot. I either got to counter strike or use my takedowns as a counter as well. I just, like I said, use it all.
All right, last question before we let you out of here. Thanks for coming on with MMA Oddsbreaker, TJ. It's great getting a hold of you guys, and I know I would have to practice. Sometimes it's tough. I've had Uriah on here, and he's eating Skittles because he's starving, and he's like, I got to go eat, but he had to do the interview too, so I appreciate it.
Oh, yeah.
Last question, though. What happened to you in 2013 that changed for you the better to make you the man going into 2014? It's that time of year where everyone's got the New Year's resolution. You're a fighter. I can almost verbatim pick what you're going to say. I'm going to be undefeated. I'm going to end up getting the title by the end of the year. I'm going to have the belt by December, and I'm going to be the best champ there's ever been, and I'm going to be rich. Like, that's just how every fighter is because that's what we believe.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
What happened in 2013, though, that sets you up for 2014? And it doesn't necessarily have to be a fighting game. It could be you got a new girlfriend, and that's what set you up. You bought a new house, and that kind of made you feel happier. With a lot of the guys are buying and selling houses right now with you guys. It could be anything at all, anywhere in your life that kind of sets you up to be a better man for 2014. What's that one significant thing that kind of jumps out at you?
Just the routine of, I actually did buy a new house in May, and I'm here in SAC, and just the routine of coming in every day and being held accountable, and having this great rise of my team. Not only am I getting better, but I have to be consistent for my team because everyone's on the rise. We got a guy, Chris Holzer, this one Ultimate Fighter, and he's an animal, and I got to help him out every day as he's helping me. So I think just the consistency of almost having a job. A lot of these fighters only do 8-week camps and you don't see them forever. We can't do that here at our gym. We're held accountable not only by Dwayne but our training partners. And I think that's the biggest gain that I've made was just the consistent job-like workouts.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's TJ Dillashaw. Get ready to fight Mike Easton coming up here on UFC Fight Night 35, which is January 15th, middle of the week. They come out of Duluth, Georgia. You've got to watch this kid fight if you haven't seen him fight before. I'm telling you, he's one of the guys to rise. And other than that hiccup against Rafael, I honestly believe that he would have been in the hunt for the title shot here in the next couple of fights. So now took a step back, got to win a couple more, but you're still in that game. You're still in the hunt. So it's going to be fun watching you fight next week for sure.
I appreciate that. It's always a pleasure coming on, man.
All right, we'll talk to you soon, TJ. Have a good day.
Thank you.